The Little Giants are coming into town, and the 49ers are ready to throw down on Thursday Night Football. We're one day away. Brendan Ayuk may not play. We're going to break all of that down, and I'm going to open up the hotline, baby. Let's have some fun right here on the Wayne Breezie Show.
We so bright that we shining. All we know is the Niners. Red and gold at its finest. We so faithful to the bay. We so bright that we shining. All we know is the Niners. Red and gold at its finest. We so faithful to the bay. Yeah.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Wayne Breezie Show. Wednesday. No, this Wednesday is going to look a little bit different. A little bit different this Wednesday. We're no longer going to do the Kahoot challenges because of the issues that we were having with Kahoot. But it's all good. We're here. We're going to have some fun on today's show. Shout out to the Breezy Bunch crew. They are chilling like a villain. Peachy Brown is in the building. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to smash that like button on your way. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. And if love your experience here, join the BB crew, man. If you love the experience here, go ahead and join the BB crew. I see my boy Paul is back. Where you been, bro? You've been missing, man. CJ Gray says still hate the new song. Hey, man, I'm sorry, it's my song, so I don't hate it. Sorry you hate it. Just don't listen to it at that point. I hate to be that type of person, but you can hate it. That's your prerogative, but I don't. Tanisha, what's going on? Good morning, Breezy. All the way live from CPT. We had Levi South rocking this past weekend. Hashtag BB. Blessing to you and your family as well. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Compton in the building. What's going on? It's good to see you. Good to hear from you. But guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Listen, the game is about to go down in less than I would say 24 hours, I guess. Not less than 24 hours. That'll be a little bit later on tonight. But the Niners are hosting their season home opener, and I couldn't be more excited. They get to wear their red throwbacks. This is a throwback weekend, y'all. So you guys get to rock the throwbacks. I was wearing my John Taylor yesterday, the 75th anniversary edition. But yeah, like I'm super excited about what's about to happen. Some stuff going on in the 49er world. We'll get to that very shortly. Listen, if and only if you guys are ready for this game that's about to throw down, man, let me get a hell yeah. I feel like I'm in a wrestling mode. Here's why, though, because Kyle Brandt from the show on what is it? What's the name of the show that come on NFL Network? Oh my gosh, Good Morning Football. He gave this reference to running back Christian McCaffrey the other day on the show, and it was the Christian McCaffrey angry run. So Christian McCaffrey made the angry runs, you know what I'm saying? And I thought that was mad cool. He said Christian McCaffrey ran angry and then he power bombed. He power bombed Ahkello Witherspoon, former 49er. So I immediately went back into wrestling mode when I heard the word power bomb. If you guys used to watch wrestling out there, it was my man Sid Vicious or Sid Justice or Psycho Sid, and I can't think if he had any other names. You know what I'm saying? It was his finishing move. So that's where the hell can I get a hell yeah? That's the Stone Cold Austin reference. But guys, look. The Madden challenge went down on last night. And I wasn't excited. I wasn't happy. I was a little disappointed. The Niners looked bad. They looked really bad. If you didn't get a chance to check out the Madden, the link will be posted right here in the chat for those that are on YouTube. If you're not watching on YouTube, come on, join YouTube, and you can easily get to YouTube. Here's the link for YouTube, too. It's also in the description of the show, all right? It's youtube.com/@TheWayneBreezy. Or if you're on YouTube now, you can search just @TheWayneBreezy, and it will pop right up. You know what I'm saying? It'll pop right on up. I see Coach Cruz. I see you, bro. I know. First, I want to show you some love, but then second, yes. Yes. That was crazy. Like the night, first of all, the game went into overtime. Why are we going into overtime against the Giants? I don't know. But that's what happened. Like it literally went, and I know everybody said they watched. I'm sorry you had to watch it. I hope I entertained you. That's my only goal when I do the Madden challenges. I get to be myself on that whole 2.5 hour experience. Mike, I'm sorry, Mike. It happened. Paul, this is what it is. Madden hates the Niners. Listen, the way that first of all, Brock got injured in the game, right? We knocked on wood. So check it out, right? So Brock, all right, that's not how it even started. I got to give you a quick rundown on how it started. So the game's loaded up. We do it every week, and all of a sudden it blacked out. It reminded us of the Super Bowl. Remember the 49ers and the Ravens Super Bowl? That's what it was. It blacked out, but it came right back in before the actual kickoff. So I'm like, okay. So then a lot of people were like, yo, you got to restart it because it blacked out. There was a glitch. And I'm like, a glitch? Nah, it's cool, man. It didn't skip a beat. Now, I thought it was because I turned off my television set, which I usually do, so that I'm not looking to the left. I'm looking straight here. So it blacked out, but then it came back on. And the Niners forced the 3 and out first. And then I was like, oh, okay, defense is back. You know what I'm saying? Man, Daniel Jones threw for 533 yards. 500. I was just like, okay, I'm done. I'm like, and then it went into overtime. It literally went into overtime. And then it got even crazier. Brock Purdy got injured, right? Sam Darnold came in, threw a touchdown, and then immediately went back to why we don't like Sam Darnold, right? They must have thought that Sam Darnold was still Brock Purdy at the goal line, but it wasn't because Brock Purdy got hurt getting to the goal line. Purdy comes out. All of a sudden, we're just gearing ourselves up for Sam Darnold, right? And then all of a sudden, like Brock Purdy reappeared back in the video game. No cap. That's what happened. I'm like, yo, Sam about to throw an interception. And when it was a missed throw in the end zone, it was Brock Purdy. Didn't see him come back. This was well into the third quarter. Chiefs again. What was funny, the game or me? Because I was pissed. I slammed my hat. I dropped my phone. I was pissed. But listen, I know it's a video game, and I know it doesn't matter. It's not real. But the way that the Madden AI is for the San Francisco 49ers is authentically real, right? And the crazy thing is, Deebo Samuel caught a first down pass and fumbled the ball. And I'm like, oh, they trying to say that he's going to fumble because he had a fumble in the game against the Rams. Where's my bull? Yeah. That's what it was. But guys, if you didn't check it out, man, if you got time just to chill, it's a dope 2-hour stream. It was hilarious, and it will make you mad. It will make you mad. And the cool thing is, we're gonna talk about it. We're going to talk about the actual game today on today's episode of the show. Let's get to the latest in 49ers news. Again, make sure you guys hit that like button if you're just joining. If you're new to the stream, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you've been here for a while, you know what you're getting with your boy Breezie, go ahead and join the BB crew. All right, man. I promise you, you won't be ever disappointed. Where's CJ Gray go? I wasn't trying to clap at you. You gave me your preference. You didn't like the song. It was cool. I hope you didn't leave. Hope you're still listening. I'm hoping you call in later. I would love to get a hot take from you. Or whatnot. Let's go to the latest in 49ers news, man. Look, not too much going on with the San Francisco 49ers. Before we get to it, I want to go over these power rankings. The NFL power rankings are officially in. All the sports writers, sportscasts, all that good stuff are putting up their power rankings and things like that. And I'm going to go ahead and get these power rankings up here. Just give me a second. Let me go ahead and get the screen to present. And I want to get your thoughts on it. I'm not too I don't think I'm not too upset about what I'm seeing with the power rankings. I want to know if you guys feel like you guys are upset about the power rankings. Now, what the heck happened to my picture? It was wide open. I had it already set up. See, the devil is a liar. You know what I mean? All right, there it is. Liar, right? All right, so let me go ahead and get rid of that so you can see the bottom teams. Now, I like Fox because Fox said bump the top 10 teams. We're going to give you all 32. Hey, that's the name of my new football show, All 32. So let's go to the power rankings. They got the Niners, the Cowboys, the Eagles, who are down 1, the Dolphins, the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Seahawks. The Bills, excuse me, can't read. The Seahawks, the Falcons, and the Lions. Those are your top 10 teams. And then, of course, they give it to you all the way down. You got the Jags, you got the Bucks. How are the Bucks 12 if they're 2-0? I never understood the power rankings because if the Bucks are 2-0, like, how are they 12? Like, all right, I tell you, let's go through it and see. 49ers 2-0, Cowboys 2-0, Eagles 2-0, Dolphins 2-0, Kansas City 1-1, Ravens 2-0, Bills 1-1, Seahawks 1-1, Falcons are 2-0, Lions are 1-1. I think there should be some shifting of this list. I feel like if you're 2-0, you should be in the top 10. There are 9 teams that are 2-0. Look, Commanders are 2-0, but they're all the way 17th. I think the makeshift of this, the 49ers are number 1, and let's be honest, did we look like a number 1 team against the Rams? I don't know. I know we beat them. What's going on? My man Marquette is in the building. I know we beat the Rams. I know it's based, and I get it. It's based on who you played. So I guess they're saying that the Commanders haven't played anybody because they beat the Cardinals and they beat, I forgot the other team they beat. And it's only after 2 weeks, so that's a good thing. But didn't the Bucks didn't they play a couple of good teams? No, maybe not. All right. Maybe not. Okay. But the Chiefs, all right, the Seahawks, they beat the Lions, but the Lions are a top 10 team. So I guess it's based off of who you play, like you said. I get it. But the Niners, we played the Rams. We're the Rams. The Rams are 24th. So this kind of makes weird sense. Like, it doesn't make any sense, right? So we beat the Steelers, and we're the Steelers. Show me the Steelers. We're the Steelers on this list. Because I'm going off of that theory. And the Steelers are 21 and the Rams are 24th. But we're number 1. I'm not complaining about us being number 1. I'm just trying to figure out how they're measuring this because, again, we beat lower teams in the registry. The Giants beat the Cowboys beat the 26 team that's ranked down there. And who else did they beat? They played the Cardinals this week. I don't know. Who cares? At the end of the day, the Niners are number 1, and I think that's all that matters. So congratulations to the 49ers. I know power rankings don't mean much of anything. All right, so my man says it goes by who you played, how you beat them. Points have a lot to do with it. So we've put up 30. What did we score against the Steelers? I can't remember. I know it was plus 30, and we put up 30 exactly against the Rams, and they got 23 on us. So it's a lot of stuff that goes into the actual power rankings. But I tell you what, the Niners look good, and that's why we're here, right? Because they look good, and they look good pretty much on every facet of football. You know what I'm saying? Like offense, defense, like they just look good. And so they have to continue to figure out how to improve so that they look better week in and week out. You know what I mean? Simply because they're going to be playing teams that are looking to knock them off that number 1 spot. Now, not only are they number 1 in the power rankings, the 49ers are number 1 in the NFC West. So it's going to get crazy, all right? So far as the injuries concerned, practice yesterday, light practice, according to Kyle Shanahan, and these two players were limited in practice. So Ambry Thomas with the knee, Brandon Ayuk with the shoulder has been limited. Now, look, people want to know Brandon Ayuk. There's a poll question going on right now. Make sure you guys go ahead and participate in that poll question. A lot of people want to know about Brandon Ayuk. Look, according to John Lynch on KNBR, they're prepping for him to play, but he's going to be a game time decision depending on the pain tolerance. If he can tolerate the pain, like, you know what I mean. And look, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I'm with you, Paul. 3-0 looks good. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I think Brandon Ayuk is going to play in this game. If he could, like, if he can go, he's gonna play. He has that type of mentality. I'm curious though if the coaching and there's a call from the front office, be like, listen, man, if he's dealing with the injury, go ahead and just let him chillax for the week. So will Kyle get vetoed or will Brandon Ayuk get vetoed? Because I know he's gonna want to play. You know what I mean? Want to play. And we're saying, look, we'll limit his snaps. We'll see what it's like when he takes a hit, things like that. But like right now, as of now, it's a game time decision. It's not a yes. It's not a no. So this is news. We got to kind of fall back and wait. And from what I'm hearing on the Giants side, okay, Saquon Barkley is a game time decision. Now, I don't think he plays, period. I mean, he had an ankle sprain, not a high ankle sprain, didn't tear any ligaments, didn't extend any ligaments, didn't break anything, just a sprain. But I think that when it comes to the Giants, I don't think Barkley will play, but I will tell the 49ers to prepare for Saquon Barkley to be out there. That's kind of like what I would do. I would prepare for Barkley. You got to prepare for Barkley. I mean, you got to prepare for they didn't use much of Matt Breida. Matt Breida got used once Barkley went out. It was Barkley all game. Barkley didn't even get hurt to like a minute left in the game anyway. So I think when it comes to Barkley, he's more than likely not going to play. But you know how Brian Dabble is, man. Who he could play. So you just got to be prepared for Saquon Barkley. That is their star-studded weapon over there in New York. Now, as far as Brandon Ayuk, I don't think they necessarily need to risk him to play. Why? They got some other guys. I would like to see Ronnie Bell. You could call up my man Chris Conley. Could Chris Conley be called up? Could Willie Snead be called up? There's guys that they can call up, like, to be available as an extra wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? So there are other players that Kyle can use for different dynamics. And when you think about it, like, it probably would be Willie Snead. Why? Because he's the better blocker of the ones that are on the practice squad. Better blocker than Chris Conley. But I say make him inactive. It's a short week. Let him get all the rest he can get. You got a long stay into that bye. You know what I'm saying? And then, it's the Giants, it's the Cardinals, and then it's the Cowboys. I mean, if he had to sit out 2 weeks to play the Cowboys, I'm for it. If he's going to be 100% against the Cowboys, I'm down for not playing Brandon Ayuk because I still feel the 49ers can win. Like, and I'm not trying to say this in a negative way, but I feel like the Niners can win without him. I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm saying that they can figure out a way to still get production without Brandon Ayuk on the football field. That's all I'm saying. They need him, but if he doesn't play, the way Kyle Shanahan can kind of like get his wide receivers to scheme and get them open and things like that, it'll just be more scheme-based opposed to skill-set-based from what you get from a Brandon Ayuk. I think all the receivers Kyle Shanahan has right now can win one-on-one reps. There's not one that can't win a one-on-one rep. Matter of fact, I think if Deebo Samuel wasn't interfered with by Kendricks on that play, that was a touchdown. So he won the rep. He goes up. Kendrick doesn't get his head around, makes the contact, bam, PI. We're in the end zone. We're at the goal line, right? So it just seems like these wide receivers are winning their reps, but who's the best coach at scheming people to get open? It's Kyle Shanahan and then all of his disciples like right under there. It's Kyle Shanahan and you could go with Daniels, Josh McDaniels. You could go with any one of those guys, like right under him. So we'll see, man. We'll see. But again, it's a game time decision, and I think they're gonna ask him, can he play? How healthy is he? But I'm hoping that they make that executive decision. You know what I'm saying? Any Danny Gray sightings? I like the questions early. No, Danny Gray is on the IR, so there can't be a sighting of him until at least week 4. And then if they choose to bring him off the IR, that will be one of those return from IR spots that they have to utilize. And the 49ers ran out of that last year. I don't know if they will use Danny Gray all season long. Interesting, right? Crazy Vader Joe 7-1. Very interesting. Interesting. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But I think that the Niners will pull up a Willie Snead or a Chris Conley from the practice squad. Willie Snead would be my preference. He has more experience in the Kyle Shanahan offense. We've seen him get a touchdown. We've seen him like block for touchdowns, right? We've seen him be very active as a wide receiver. You can line him up in the slot. You can line him up outside. You know what I mean? So that's going to be dope. My man Paul says, Lee, the president, will be, you guys were going to be going to Levi's. He's going to Levi's tomorrow, celebrating his 50th birthday. So he's going to be at the first home opener game. So happy birthday to my man Lee, president of the chapter over there in England, man. Listen, man, we love you, man. Happy birthday to you, bro. If you get a chance to watch this show, I want you to know that very, very happy birthday blessings to you. You're probably traveling, trying to get out to California, get out to Levi. And Paul, I heard you're going to be going to the Tampa Bay game. That's going to be your joint. That's what's up, man. So I'll be out there week 5 against the Cowboys. Team signed cornerback Anthony Brown. Now, you know what we're going to do? I'm going to pull up. Give me a second. We're going to look up Anthony Brown. We're going to have some fun together. We're going to go off of his stats. I know what I saw from Anthony Brown. My best friend is a Cowboys fan, and this is the player he complained about week in and week out when he was out there. He's a former 6th-round pick, Dallas Cowboys from Purdue. He's 5'11", 196. He's that kind of typical. He's not a big size cornerback for the 49ers, but he's 5'11". He's pressing 6 feet. You know what I'm saying? He's getting up there or whatnot. Let's go ahead and look at him. Let's check out what PFF has to say about my man Anthony Brown. I think that'll be a nice little fun exercise. All right. So I'll blow this stuff up for you guys. I know it looks like you can't really see it, but have no fear because your boy Breezy's here. We'll blow it up and then we'll slide it on over. All right, so I'm looking at him, and this is 2022. Remember, he got injured. He tore his ACL a little bit later on, and this is how he played. As far as grading wise, his best game was against Washington, which your best games should be against your divisional opponents. But other than that, man, and that was a 72. So if you're going off a grade, you're like, well, what the hell does he do well? Well, he tackles well, right? He's a guy with tackles. You can see he had 33 tackles and 9 missed tackles. I need to make it a little bit bigger. 33 tackles and 9 missed tackles. All right. In that 2022 season. And then when you go and you look at his grades since the time he's been in the league, I mean, look at it. 65.9, 60.5. And I feel like PFF grades the DBs the best. I feel like that's the most truest form of a grade you're going to get. You don't have to worry about them pressures. You don't have to worry about them blocking, which really negatively affects your grade. This is, if you giving up passes, your grade is going to be, downhill. Now you can see his best season again 2021 where he finished with a 66.0 grade. But let's just look at what he does well. All right, and this is where we're gonna come. Like, will they blitz him? Yes. You can see he has a total of 13 pressures. All right, 13 pressures. He has 3 sacks, 2 hits, hate quarterback hurries, but where he thrives, in my opinion, throughout his career. Okay, I'm not gonna go by. I'm going by career. He has almost 300 career total tackles. Now, a lot of people are like, well, you know, what's so good about him tackling? I mean, look, he's getting beat. Okay, he's getting beat, but the thing is, he's making the tackle, so he's not getting like necessarily like really like beat, but you can see, look at this long, and these are the big plays. So when I scroll over to here and I look at this long, like his longest in 2020, 58, 55, 51, 24 in 2019, 49, 41. And his rookie year, he gave up a 67. Like, if he gave that up his rookie year, cool. But his last time he played, it was damn near what? Like 9 yards away from a 60 from his worst in his rookie year. So that confuses me. And then look how many touchdowns he's given up. He's given up 29 touchdowns, y'all. 29 touchdowns. Now he does have 10 interceptions. He has 44 PBUs. He has 26 penalties. And then where are you going to line him up? He can line up as a nickel. He can line up in the safety. He can play in the box, but he's predominantly an outside corner. So what are the 49ers going to do with him? Essentially, he is the backup. He is essentially replacing Samuel Womack III, right? Because he's on the active 53. Womack went to the IR, right? And he's on the active 53. So he's going to essentially be your special teams guy as well. Now, he's coming off of that ACL injury. I don't know how much that might affect his mental and his ability to play out there. But, yeah. So, Anthony Brown, newest member of the 49ers as of right now. I'm going to take up some of your comments. Golden Dragon number 5 says Anthony Brown's a great fit for the 49ers to lower the fans' expectations in the secondary. Like, what do you mean by that? Feel free to go more into detail with that. I'm trying to figure out why do we like. I don't think that we think our. I don't think the fans think that the secondary is the most dominant piece to the San Francisco 49ers defense. I don't get that from the fans. I think they think it's the pass rush, and they might not even think it's the pass rush. The linebackers, like, but if you count the linebackers in the front seven, I think it's the front seven opposed to the back end, the back four guys. I think the front seven is the strongest portion of the 49ers, but maybe he is a good fit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. This could, and again, I wasn't in the meeting room, but maybe, just maybe Steve Wilkes was like, you had Bradley Roby, you had this guy. Maybe Steve was like, well, give me him. I could work with him. So maybe this is influence from Wilkes. You're starting to finally see the, you're starting to see Isaiah Oliver starting to turn a new leaf and things like that. So we'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I3, the underscore I3. What does I3 mean? I don't know. But Brown is trash, Breezie. I know. It's the first thing I said. I hate calling players trash, bro. I do. He gets beat and gets PIs calls all the time. On the John and Wayne show earlier today, I immediately said that he reminds me of Josh Norman. But Josh Norman would play, to me, better press, but it doesn't seem like the Niners want to play that style of defense. Hey, look, I agree with you. I just don't know. But again, he's a depth piece. But and Eric says he's a depth piece. He isn't playing. Yeah, but don't you want to make sure? So this is what doesn't make sense then, E. So if he's a depth piece, cool. But don't you want to make sure that your depth, if there is an injury, can replenish the starter? Like they don't lose at that. If you're bringing in a person that doesn't necessarily fit or isn't capable of doing the things your starter was able to do, wouldn't you try to find a depth piece that can mirror that? I don't know. That's just me. It's just my thoughts. My thoughts don't mean anything. But we'll see what happens. And Kylie, you're right. He could be a short term solution. Now, Luter is on the PUP. I know a lot of people want to see Darrell Luter Jr., including myself. But we haven't seen much of him. Period. You haven't seen any of him. Period. So I know what I saw. So you guys didn't get to see what I saw. So let me tell you what I saw, and let me tell you why I'm high on this 5th round draft pick. Shout out to my man, Creative Nana, man. I appreciate that. And if you really love the show, can you send me that Ronnie Lott jersey? You know what I'm saying? That would be dope. Now, I'm just messing with you, but I appreciate you. But hear me out. Let me tell you what I saw. So at the Senior Bowl, there was this kid, right? And this kid would not give up a catch. So I had to make it my business to figure out who he was. And the funny thing is, were we at his school? No. Where did Darrell Luter Jr. go to? I want to say it was South Alabama. I think we were at his school. That could be why. It was on his field. But my point is, he wouldn't give up a catch. He was tight in coverage. And if you have great pressure up front and the quarterback still continues to throw the ball that way, it's going to get picked. That's what I saw. So that's dog to me. Uncle Shan, what's going on? That's dog to me. That is my dog bark. My dog's bark is bigger than your dog's bark. I don't know if that even means anything in the world of dog, but that let me know this kid's going to be a problem. I didn't know that the Niners were going to draft him, right? I felt like, we had drafted Samuel Womack the year before and things like that. But to me, that it is South Alabama. Thank you, bro. That's what I thought. That's where the Senior Bowl was. So he had a damn good time. That was his field. He was letting everybody know, listen, this is my field. So I'm going to show up and show out. But that's what he did all season. He did that in the games too, right? Now, the only issue with Darrell Luter Jr., in my opinion, is he's handsy, right? He's going to put his hands on receivers and possibly get flagged. That was it. Matter of fact, on one of the plays, he ended up getting flagged even at the Senior Bowl. So Darrell Luter Jr. to me he's not necessarily a project. I don't know what the injury is, but when he's cleared off the PUP, he's going to be a healthy bonus for the 49ers that the league has no idea what it is. And I know the Niners know what he is. We don't know, we don't know what he is, but I know the 49ers know exactly who he is. I know exactly who he is. Did I say Liberty? I thought I said South Alabama. If I said Liberty, my apologies. I thought I said South Alabama because that's where the Senior Bowl was. So I could be wrong. Anyway, who cares? I just wanted to share with you guys, Anthony Brown. I wanted to kind of see you, just look at the analytical data and I don't have any film or all 22 on to where we could watch, but he just didn't look good. I can call my boy up, who's a Dallas Cowboys content creator, and he could tell you that the dude is trash. So I trust my boy. That's my dog. And if he tell me that the player is trash, and that's what we do. That's why I love my bros, man. I know they be Cowboy fans, but literally we're best friends until we play. And then when we play, it is what it is. We give each other the scout report. There's been many times that they will pick up a 49er player and they'll ask me about him, and I'll hit him with the trash. The player was trash. That's why he's not with us. But you might be able to utilize him because what I'm starting to understand and learn about football is that some players are fit certain schemes and certain, for certain teams. So that's what I'm starting to understand about football. You know what I mean? Anyway, also news about the 49ers, and I don't know how excited you guys, but Tim Ryan, the 49ers radio color analyst, the guy that is sidekick or the Robin to, this sound. Hold up.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
And then usually it will be followed up with a Tim Ryan. He is is going, like gone, right? So look, Tim Ryan has been extended by the team, all right, until 2028. So you're gonna get to hear his voice until 2028. I'm actually starting to like the combination. You know what I mean? Y'all are crazy. I'm actually starting to like the combination of Papa and Ryan. I think it's starting to grow on me. The more I'm watching the home feeds of the games, I'm starting to really like it. I think, did Ted Robinson retire Fable JVC, or like did he quit on his own? Did he walk away from the game on his own terms? Ted Robinson was a legend, but I like what Papa and I like what Tim Ryan is doing. I think they sound pretty good, and the Niners liked it, and they decided to extend them until 2028. So congratulations to Tim Ryan. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. All right, so let's get down to this game. This is not the preview show. Actually, it's gonna be a special preview show tomorrow at 6 p.m. right here on the channel. We got a huge Giants content creator coming on here. I told you we're trying to do things a little bit different here. And so that's gonna be interesting. We gotta pick his brain, and he's probably gonna ask us some questions. So that'll be tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I want to go through. Each week I'll give you a matchup that I want you guys to watch before I do the next segment. And I was just talking to John, and we both agree that this could be, Jason Aponte. Shout out to Jason Aponte. He had presented on an earlier show that this could be a big time game for George Kittle. And he explained that George Kittle, on Thursday nights, just balls out. Right? It's just kind of like what he does. Well, the Niners are hosting the Giants on Thursday nights. Eddie G and the Bulldogs is in the building. What's going on, fam? And I thought that was actually a good damn thing to point out. Shout out to Jason. And I'm like, oh, you know what? Because Kittle is so underutilized now in the 49ers offense, I almost forgot he was there until he makes a pancake block. Now Kittle went 3 for 3 last week for 30 yards. So he averaged 10 yards per catch last week. And in week 1, he had a couple of catches as well with a drop. But you almost forget that he's even a part, right, of this offense. And that's dope, right? Because I'm like, wait a minute. You're going to get a heavy dose of CMC. Why? Because the 49ers are they're going to run the ball. They're looking to run the ball every time, right? Obviously, Brock Purdy is the man. Brock Purdy he deserves a lot more credit than what he's getting, right? And then there's going to be the Deebo Samuel factor based on matchup purposes. If they don't beat you with Ayuk because they're trying to route you up, they're going to under-route you up with screen passes. And I don't think there's a better screen receiver in the league than Deebo Samuel. I just don't think there's a better guy. There's nobody else in the league I want to have the ball. Deebo Samuel, you know why Deebo Samuel was so freaking good, yo? Who was his wide receiver coach at one point here in San Francisco? One of the best, to me, screen wide receivers of all time. Brandon, what's going on, baby? One of the best wide receivers. You threw him a screen, it was about to be on. Now, I don't think this particular wide receiver had the football speed of a Deebo Samuel, but now that I'm thinking about it, you guys remember? There it is, Dre Diddy. God dang it. There it is, Eric. I was wondering if y'all remember, there was a reason why Wes Welker was here before he went to, where he's at, Miami now? There's a reason. Number one, how to get open, how to work, footwork, you know what I'm saying? Because Deebo, had to change his game up a little bit. And yeah, it's Wes Welker. It's Wes Welker. I just realized why Deebo is so damn effective in the screen. He's catching the ball and he's out. He's outie 5,000. I just dated myself, but I don't care. He's outie, Look, Deebo is always a mismatch nightmare. And this is why he doesn't have to be a receiver. He doesn't have to be a running back. He's just Deebo freaking Samuel. You get him the ball, expect a play to happen. Now, a lot of teams are preparing for Deebo to be that. And that, to me, what makes the 49ers even more dangerous, because now they have other options. And here's another option, and we're talking about George Kittle. So my matchup for week 3 is going to be safety Xavier McKinney versus George Kittle. Now, let me just keep it a buck. If these two dudes had 10 reps, George Kittle is winning 9 out of 10 easily. There's not too many safeties, today's safeties. There's not too many today's safeties that could cover George Kittle, okay? And it's because of the way he runs, how dangerous he is at the attack, and it's the simple fact that he will get open. And if it's a safety covering him and there's no bracket, I said one-on-one, if there's no bracket to where George Kittle can beat and get open. I think people forget that George Kittle can get open. Like, that's one of his skill sets. We don't talk about it because we're so used to seeing George Kittle do what? Block. Uncle Scott, what's going on, baby? We're so used to seeing George Kittle block. I will not be at the game tomorrow, guys. My apologies. I won't be out to the West Coast until week 5 Dallas Cowboys game. So, so I'm telling you, yo, just you gotta watch the film. You gotta watch the film. I like George Kittle in this matchup. We haven't seen much of him. I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like George Kittle gets a play early. You saw it on the 4th and 1 play in week 1. I think it was the first play from scrimmage in week 2. I wouldn't be surprised. It was definitely on the first series. I wouldn't be surprised if George Kittle. We haven't seen a tight end screen yet. We haven't seen a tight end screen yet from a quarterback that is successfully throwing screens. And I know we'd be like, yo, anybody could throw a screen pass. No, they can't. Trey Lance was terrible at it, and Jimmy Garoppolo, them shits was always high. But Brock Purdy screens have that Amarion touch. I didn't think I could hit that note. So this is going to be interesting. I would like to see Kittle utilize more, right? And look, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like the Giants pass defense is pretty. After 2 games, they're pretty decent, right? 180 something yards over the 2 games. They're not giving up much from their pass defense. Okay, they rank 9th. The Giants have a top 10 pass defense. Top 10 pass defense. All right. So if I see some questions in there, I'm going to hold the question. So stick around until the little end of the show, and I'll make sure I get to some of your questions. All right. Now, if you do a super chat contribution, I'll read it right there on the air. But if not, and I see some questions, hold them. All right. And I'll stay here, and I'll make sure I get to them toward the end of the show. But no, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. Like, I just feel like George Kittle could be a mismatch nightmare. I like this on Xavier McKinney. I think McKinney is a good safety in the league, but when you gotta cover like a guy like George Kittle, I mean, he did his thing on even Minkah Fitzpatrick, and to me, that's the best safety in the league. And Scott, if I'm begging, I don't know what I gotta do to get Brian Dabble to put Isaiah Simmons in this game on Kittle though. Like, yes. Don't put him in the blitz. Matter of fact, so Isaiah Simmons is on the depth chart. He's not even a star. He's not even starting with the Giants yet. I assume he'll be starting at some point this season. But I'm telling you, if they put Isaiah Simmons, we actually have a quarterback that is competent enough to know who the goddamn mismatch is. That's what I love about Brock. Brock looks at that defense. He's looking at 11 players, and he's saying, where's my mismatch? Where's my mismatch? Who do I know can win the 1-on-1? Ain't nobody on the Giants team, in my opinion, not in it. And please put a linebacker on him. You might please. I double dog Christmas story dare you to put a linebacker on George Kittle. Now, I could be wrong. All I'm saying is this can be a guy. And you didn't know? I got to put this out there. I'm sorry. They traded Isaiah Simmons. Was it for a 7th or 6th round draft pick? The Cardinals got a 6th or 7th round draft pick. Yep, they moved on. He ain't it. He ain't it. So yeah. And that's my point. Please, I beggeth you to put Isaiah Simmons on George Kittle in coverage. I know Brock is going to dial that up, and that's another reason why I feel like, you know what I'm saying, this kid, George Kittle, can take advantage. Xavier McKinney from Alabama, good safety. Hasn't really made a big name for himself yet in the league. But listen, this is the matchup that I would like to see predominantly used throughout the game, and that's what I'm starting to understand. And I don't know if you all have started to understand what's going on with Kyle Shanahan, but Kyle Shanahan is aloha, Brian. Kyle Shanahan is abusing matchups. Who did he use predominantly against the Steelers? I mean, against the Steelers. He used Brandon Ayuk and Christian McCaffrey. Who did he use predominantly against the Rams? He used the Rams killer or the Rams owner and Deebo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey's always going to be a factor. This week it may be Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle. Just pay attention to it. Pay attention. It's Thursday night football. It's prime time football. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got one more thing I want to get to, and then we're going to open up the phone lines for everybody that wants to join the show. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Don't forget to check out our sponsors of the show over at residency.com. Use promo code SFBreezy and save $5 on your purchase. Do it right now, matter of fact, because I know they got some hot stuff. They got a couple of sales going on. Check them out, all right? Let's get to the keys to victory, brought to you by 49ers Web Zone. Some of my favorite people over there at 49ers Web Zone. They do tremendous work. They put out tremendous content. And I'm probably super low on the totem pole because my writing lately has... But I tell you what, I'm doing keys to victory each and every week. So listen, let's get to the keys to victory of this game. Number one, you got to stop the run. And I know a lot of people are like, well, what do you mean? Why do we got to stop the run? It's simple. You stop the run, you force the team to be one-dimensional. Now, I know Saquon Barkley may not play in this game. He's not playing in this game. Because if he plays in this game, he won't play in any of the other games of the NFL season. I guarantee this will be the dumbest decision Brian Daboll has ever made in his life. You might as well just let him chill. But there's nothing more than I want for their best players to be out on the football field. Trust me, I like beating the best. But he's not going to play this game. Anyway, you still got to stop the run, right? So Matt Breida will probably be the starting running back for the New York Football Giants. Now, the Giants are ranked very low in rushing, right? They're not a top-tier team. Niners are ranked number 3. Giants are way down somewhere at the bottom. Here's what I do know, though, when I'm looking at the football Giants, right? So, let's see. The 49ers are tied for third in allowing only 65 rushing yards per game. That's ridiculous. The run. We were all concerned about the run defense, and their run defense is top. They're tied for third, but technically they're top 3 in the league. All right. Now look, with the status of Barkley and the ankle injury being a game time decision, the Niners got to prepare for Breida, like I said. And the wild card, Daniel freaking Jones. They got to prepare for Daniel freaking Jones. Why? Daniel Jones may just be the Giants' best option and athlete at running back. And I know I should be slapping myself for saying that, but man, the kid is somewhat type of an elusive run. He's not your Lamar Jackson, but he's just built different, and he will run. He will run. So the Niners definitely have to figure out how to eliminate that, and they could do that now more with the interior pressure. This will help keep him in the pocket. So this is what I like, because that's my number 2, create the pressures, right? So when you create these pressures, you're going to concave down from the sides. But what's not going to allow Daniel Jones to step up in the pocket once he sees that there's coverage downfield, all right, he is going to have to figure out a way to move from side to side. And if he moves up, he's getting hit by the interior guys like Javon Hargrave and Eric Armstead. If he moves to the side, you got Nick Bosa that he might walk into a sack. You got Drake Jackson, Cleveland Farrell. It's a wall. It's not going to be too much for him to move. So that means that the interior definitely got to be on. And the linebackers, they can't get caught up in the Daniel Jones shenanigans. He will take off and run. I'm not saying you need a spy on him, but we got to figure out a way to generate pressure. The 49ers have a total of 56 pressures from the last 2 games. 56 pressures. They have 6 sacks, all right? The Niners even though they're not the top team in the league with sacks, they're pretty still good, and they still haven't gotten the sacks from their star and Nick Bosa, right? So blitz Fred Warner, and then you get the 5 sacks the week one against the Pittsburgh Steelers. But the Niners still find ways to generate pressures. I wouldn't blitz heavy in this game. I would play coverage. I would try to figure out if my guys can win up front. Daniel Jones has been sacked 10 times this season. That is the second most sacked quarterback of the season, next to C.J. Stroud, who is number 1. Daniel Jones will get sacked in this game because the 49ers do a couple of things. They generate pressure, and when they get to the quarterback, they get the quarterback, right? So sacks, hits, pressures, hurries, sacks, and hits. That's what you want. And the key of the pressure is to get the quarterback's timing off. You throw off the quarterback's timing, that's where your DBs can feast. And I want turnovers. I don't know about you, but I want turnovers. Number 3, 49ers got to continue to run the ball. I don't care how they run the ball. I don't care if they use Christian McCaffrey 25 times. They have to run the ball. Now, I do want to see some Elijah Mitchell. I'm hoping we get some Jordan Mason. I do want to see them mix it up a little bit, but Christian McCaffrey has 268 rushing yards after 2 games. The 49ers are averaging 134 and a half rushing yards per. They are up there. Like, this is crazy, right? Continue to run the ball. Again, the Giants' run defense isn't that great. They're giving up a lot of yards. I feel like the 49ers can run the ball very well. I want to see less Brock Purdy type of scrambles. I want to see him get this ball to these running backs, let them do their thing, hand the ball off, run the ball. You start the run. You already know what the run does. It sets up the play action pass. I mean, it's just simple math, right? And that's what we want, because I want Brock doing what Brock does and what Brock did in this next, in the last game. And that's my number 4, attack deep. Now, the Giants secondary, again, the Giants secondary is ranked 9th in their pass defense. But you know what they give up? Explosive plays. They like to give up long plays down the field. This is where Brock Purdy comes in. Now, I know Brock missed a few throws against the Los Angeles Rams or whatnot. I get it. But the fact that he's dialing them up is the bonus, all right? So I want Brock, if he's finding those man-to-man coverages, his one-on-ones, and he sees his guy has a step because he's winning the rep, he's winning the route, throw that ball, give your receiver a 50-50 chance to go up there and get it. If Brock can kind of make that a little bit better, this will be a crazy game, because if you attack deep, you know what the Giants can't do? Stack the box. If they don't stack the box, you know what that means? We run the hell out of the ball, all right? And then number 5, it's probably going to be always one of my keys to victory until I see otherwise. Continue to win the turnover battle. In the past 2 games, the Niners have been winning the turnover battle. They have 4 interceptions on this season. They're one of the top 5. They're actually number 5 in turnovers with the 4 interceptions so far. All right, there are other teams that have some fumble recoveries and things like that. So listen, the Niners got to figure out a way to continue to win that turnover battle. They do so, man. They'll be walking into 3-0, staying at home, and getting ready for the next team and the team after that. There could be 5 weeks of 5 straight wins for the San Francisco 49ers, but all they got to do is stick to the keys to victory. All right, guys, let's get everybody on this show. If you want to give a hot take, it is hot take time. All right, it is hot take time. And I want to hear from you. I want to hear a hot take from you. It could be about tomorrow's game. It could be anything. It's just got to be something dope, something hot. All right, so here's the link. It's going to be coming into the show. Feel free to click on that when you guys get a chance. And let's have some hot take talk time, all right? Here we go, baby. Links there. Again, if you're watching on Facebook, you should be able to click the link. If you're watching on Twitch, you should be able to click the link. So feel free to join the show. 2 minutes, like it's a 2-minute warning. 2 minutes, guys. Please keep your time to 2 minutes. I will keep a timer on. I have zero problems with that. All right, keep your time to 2 minutes. There were a couple of questions that I did want to get to, and I'll get to those before anybody comes on, and as we wait for people to come on to the hot take line. All right, here we go. Beanie Man, he says, "What's going on with our cornerback, bro? We keep signing more. Educate me. And why did Ambry, that's who you meant, get benched last game?" So Ambry Thomas he didn't get benched. He didn't get benched in any of the games. What ended up happening to Ambry, week 1, he went to tackle a Pittsburgh Steeler, and he ended up getting a concussion. So he came out of the game. Now, I believe he was cleared to go back in, but he was concussed, and they didn't put him back in the game. Week 2, as I was watching the defensive film, it was like, oh, snap. He hurt his knee on that play. You saw him roll over after the tackle and grab his knee immediately, and then he ended up coming out of that game. Now, he would have been able to go back into the game, but at that point, I think Isaiah Oliver was just having a great game at nickel. Like, he started to really upgrade his play out there, and so that meant that they didn't no longer need to put Deommodore Lenoir inside. They could leave Thomas out, let Deommodore Lenoir play on the outside, and they can just allow Isaiah Oliver, you know what I'm saying, to get those reps at the nickel spot. So that's what ended up happening to Ambry Thomas. He suffered two injuries in both games. If he's cleared to play, I know he was limited in practice yesterday. If he's cleared to play, I expect him to play. Now, we signed, you did ask why did we keep signing these cornerbacks. We did sign Anthony Brown to replace Samuel Womack III, who is now on the IR. So that's just a replacement until either Womack returns, or if Darrell Luter Jr., who's the 49ers' 5th-round draft pick, if he's cleared off the PUP after week 4. So we'll see what happens with that. My man Tony, he says, "I'm late coming into the live, but Mitchell needs some plays, 5 to 10 of them." Yeah, I think everybody agrees with you, bro. And this is a hot take, right? I feel like Mitchell definitely needs some plays. Now, I'm curious to know if Mitchell is still, I don't want to say nursing some type of an injury, but for it doesn't make sense other than an injury for Mitchell to not get any touches. Now, he did get some touches week 1 against Pittsburgh, but maybe Kyle didn't like what he saw from Mitchell. Maybe he felt like Mitchell still isn't ready, but then why not give Jordan Mason? Kyle Shanahan keeps 3 running backs active. Now, my theory is they don't want to use Jordan Mason as a running back right now because they need him for special teams. So that's my theory. If you lose Mason as a running back, and if he has to play there, he will play. But they want to make sure that he's fresh for special teams. Fresh for special teams. All right. I do see some comments. So I'm going to put them up there. Since nobody wants to join the hot take line, no one has a hot take, not even about tomorrow's game. Interesting. Scott Broyle says Thomas is heinous. He surrenders catches like the French surrenders wars. So let me just say this. If Thomas is heinous, what about the rest of the DBs? Because in the last game, they all was giving up the catches. So just educate me on what makes him more heinous. I do feel like one DB on one side is playing 10 yards off and the other DB is playing press. So it's weird. It's not an equal balance. Both men aren't up on the line. Both men aren't off at the same time. It's just the way that they're schemed to play. On those catches that he does give up, because he does give up the catches, he's there to make the tackles. He's not giving up big plays. So you got to live, like, what do you want from this player if they're asking him to do that? I mean, you're not going to get a lockdown corner if he isn't playing lockdown corner football. Now, I'm not a DB expert. I could get Eric Crocker on here, but I guarantee you Eric will tell you, well, he's not playing the way corners would play. Now, when he was asked to be that type of cornerback, he didn't look hideous. He did not. He did not look hideous. You go back to his rookie year, he looked well. So I don't know. I don't understand why we're seeing this crazy, weird play. I think it's scheme, and I'm gonna leave it at that. I think it's scheme, and I'm going to leave it at that. All right, we don't got any hot takes for the hot take line on today, and that's fine. Every Wednesday will be the hot take line. So if you feel you want to join the show, be my guest. You'll be able to click on that link and join the show. Guys, we got a bunch of stuff for you guys coming up. I can tell you right now, today, no harm, no foul, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's with Mike Andrews. Then we got the What's Your Fantasy Show. All right, the Fantasy Football Show by myself and Crystal Peachy B. That's at 8 p.m. All right, and then be aware there's going to be videos uploaded. My NFL show, all 32, will be uploaded and for you guys to watch before tomorrow. So there's a bunch of stuff that's uploaded. If you're a member of the Patreon, shout out to those that are in the what is it? Not all Madden, but the high tier. I wanted to show you guys some love right here on the show. I truly appreciate you guys. Shout out to all the Patreon members. But guys, go check out the all 22 film breakdowns. They're up there. The offensive one will be uploaded today. All right. But you could check out all Brock Purdy's throws. You could check out the defensive film breakdown. And please check it out so that way you can watch Ambry Thomas on film and not what you see him give up in the actual game. All right. And that to me, that's where it comes down to. Now, I'm not saying Ambry Thomas is great. I'm just saying he's just giving up catches. Like, what do we want? He's playing off and he's giving up the catch, but he's making the tackle. Hot take from Mark. I got hot take. Daniel Dimes, 500 passing yards. He's referring to that Madden game. If you guys missed that Madden show, you missed out because we were all pissed off. I can tell you that right now. But guys, if you're into fantasy football, tune in tonight at 8 p.m. If you're into the no harm, no foul, we're going to be doing our face-off today. It's going to be Brock Purdy versus Danny Dimes. It's going to be the Brock Star versus Danny Dimes. I can't wait to talk with Mike about that. That's going to be a great show. Love you guys. We'll see you guys on the Wayne Breezie Show Friday with John Chapman. All right, Friday with John Chapman as we recap the victory. You like how I did that there? Y'all stay up. Always stay faithful. Keep it nitty gritty, man. It's been real. Peace out.
I be sipping gold bar, whiskey on the rocks, and a 24 karat gold on a watch. My 7-1 Chevy be tipping nonstop, sounding like Trick Williams on the block. So you know we can't stop, we be banging through your speakers. Wayne Breezie on the field or in the bleachers. You can tune into my show and I'm a teacher. Wayne Breezie, the 4-9 preacher.